Hey, everybody. This episode of Fatso Radio is brought to you by Volpe Martial Arts. Volpe Martial Arts is my brother. That's right. Sifu Adam Volpe is my brother, and he brings you his lifelong passion, Kung Fu and Hapkido. Kung Fu, a Chinese style. Hapkido, a Korean style. Fusion is amazing. Self-defense, discipline, fitness, forms, weapons. We do it all there, folks. We spar. It's amazing. Volpe Martial Arts. Check it out. Folks, what do we talk about today? What do we talk about today? Let's check it out. What do we talk about? I talk about the difference between a simple keto diet or a complex keto diet. What are you going to eat? How are you going to make your meals? What are you going to do? Is it complex? Is it always complex? Do you have to be complex? I don't know. Talk about some advice and discussions I had with my wife. It's amazing. Talk about why I do keto, right? And then just big thank you and love to all my listeners and all my viewers around the world. Thank you so much. Don't forget to check out Volpe Martial Arts. All right, folks. I love it. Lily, take it away. Fatso Radio, episode number 103, folks. I love you all. Lily, take it away, babe. Happy Friday.
Fatso, the really great podcast show.
Fatso, our very first podcast show. Yeah. Hey, everybody, welcome to Fatso Radio. How you doing? Episode number 103. All right, folks, another Friday night. Just me and the microphone. And it's funny because I had a little argument, debate, little fight. I don't know what it's called, but had a little one of those with my wife, and I love having one of those. I call them a fight, but it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. We just have a debate, a change of jousting, throwing words back and forth, throwing opinions back and forth, throwing advice back and forth, and all about whatever. It's about what we're talking about, what I'm always talking about. Fatso Radio, ketogenic diet, a low carbohydrate diet, a low sugar diet, a higher fat diet, to get you burning fat, because ketosis is healthy. A ketogenic diet is healthy, not always maybe for everybody, but always maybe for everybody too. Or some people, maybe it's great for everybody, maybe somebody or some people, it's great to always be in ketosis. It doesn't matter. The idea is that it's something we need to be able to get into. It's something we need to be metabolically flexible, right? What does that mean? That means not only burning predominantly carbohydrates for fuel, but also burning fat for fuel. And if you burn a lot of fat for fuel, even more fat for fuel than carbohydrates for fuel, that's the ketogenic lifestyle. Burning fat for fuel. Ketones are created when you burn fat, when you break down fat. And ketone bodies, that's what fuels the body. It fuels the brain, it fuels every part of the body. Yes, parts of the body need some glucose, of course. Our liver can make that. Amazing bodies we have. So let's get to it, folks. What is this episode about? 103. Well, like I said, I want to talk about my wife. We fought a little bit, not a fight, but we had some words. So let's talk about what were the words. I was just getting so frustrated. We were talking. I don't know what we were talking about. Somebody giving advice or eat this or that or whatever. And it came up to the idea of, I'm like, I don't know why people just don't get it. And it's one of those things that everybody will say. And then as soon as I say it, I realize I know why people just don't get it, because I was in the exact same position. But my wife brought up a point, and she said, and God love her, Fatima, I love you, babe. She said, people just want simple. People just want easy. People just don't want to give up what they love. People don't want to stop eating bread. People don't want to stop eating pasta, stop eating pizza or having their sweets and all that stuff. Okay, I get that. But if you're really looking, right, and not everybody's looking. So this is not the thing where I'm preaching out to the world and I'm judging. No. That's a Fatso Radio. This is a place where I'm here to give you my experience and my opinions and my commentary. If you're looking, if you're not looking, I'm not hopefully not offending anybody. If I am, sorry, but I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing. Turn me off. But Fatso Radio, using fat for fuel, not being afraid of fat. Fatso. So what? I lost 100 and some pounds, right? 110, 120, doesn't matter, fluctuating, whatever. But the idea is that over 100 pounds I've lost, and I've changed my life. And there's a lot of things that I'm doing, and I'll talk about that later, and how I feel like I'm doing better and why I'm doing it, right? But the idea is you got to make the switch. If you're making it, or if you're interested, but you got to really jump in. Really jump in. But again, my wife, she was saying, okay, but it's just, people don't want all these things, and it's so complicated, and people like, what do I eat this and I can't eat this? And I'm like, I like almost yelling, not yelling, but I get excited, right? But I'm like, this this is one of the simplest diets you'll ever have if you look at it in the right way, right? This can be a complicated diet if you want it to be complicated, but if you're a complicated person, you're going to make everything complicated, right? If you're a simple person, you can make something simple. And not only if you're a simple person, like, nah, I'm so simple, I can't understand anything. And I don't know why I'm making that voice because I'm not trying to mimic anybody. But the idea is that being simple doesn't mean in this sense that you are too simple to understand this. I mean simple as far as the idea that not complicated. The idea why I love simple is where a lot of people love simple is that if there's less room for failure, the less steps, right? The less complex something is, and the less possible room for failure is, or possible points of failure, right? Breaks in the steps that can make it difficult. And there's three things that I always think about when I think about that, or as I thought about today. I was like, number one, I'm a generally pretty lazy person, and I don't mean lazy like I won't work hard or I won't run hard or I don't like to run, don't get me wrong, but I won't like lift hard or do whatever I have to do. And yeah, I'll run, but not long distance. I don't mean lazy like that. I mean lazy like mentally lazy. And I want to find the most efficient way. Maybe not mentally lazy. I guess mentally I do some sort of mental exercises in some other way, but not even lazy. I guess what I'm trying to say is I try to go for the most efficient thing. I try to go for the most simplest way because I don't like extra steps, right? Number two, I love food. So when people say, "Oh, they don't want to give up this," or yeah, but maybe they won't like what you like, whatever. I love food. I love food. Okay. Number three, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but maybe I'm rocking, right? I think I'm rocking. 42 years old, I'm kicking butt. I'm outside walking, running, whatever I'm doing, lifting, kung fu, whatever I'm doing. So that doesn't have anything to do with. I guess it has something to do with the diet itself, but it is quite simple. And I want to talk about how it's quite simple. So we were getting into the conversation. She's like, people need like, there's so many services out there today. There's so many, companies where you can buy stuff online. And she is telling me, my wife, she was telling me, you should tell people that if they want to buy anything they want, everything is online these days, right? Or if they want a simple way to do it, if they want a way that's foolproof, why don't you just buy stuff online? There's basically a keto version or a keto button or a keto option on every single online ordering or restaurant or whatever, right? Even fast food, you can go to Wendy's and McDonald's and Burger King and whatever, all those ones that are sending me tons of money because they're my sponsors. They're not, but you can send me burgers. I don't care. Have a burger with no bun, right? I keep on saying that. I've been saying that for years, probably. It's like it's not about being lazy. Like I don't want to get off the couch, lazy, right? It's like you can have. I was like standing up, going, "What do I eat every day?" I'm like, "What do I eat every day?" I was like, "Well, eat meat every day." And sometimes I cook it for you, and sometimes you cook it for yourself. I go, exactly, what do I put on that meat? She said, Carlo, what do I put on the meat? She's like, salt, maybe some pepper, maybe some stock. And then what happens? And we cook it for 8 hours or 10 hours? Yep. And what do I do in the basement? I put it in the oven. She's like getting pretty impatient of me at this point. Well, it's the same idea. I'm pretty lazy, right? Not maybe lazy word is the wrong word, but maybe it's the right word. It's so simple. Get some meat, put some herbs on it if you want. You don't have to put any herbs on it, but I would at least put salt on it. Salt's the best. Put some olive oil on it. If you want, you can put butter on it. Butter's amazing. Beef tallow on it. If it's beef, if you want to mix it up, you can put lard or whatever. You need fat, of course. Unless it's a super fatty piece of meat, then great because it's going to be enough fat in there. Put it in the oven. No wait, right? She's like, yeah, but not everybody just eats like you, just meat. Okay, I'm not telling you not to eat vegetables. I don't think you need vegetables, but okay, that's fine. So then when the meat's almost ready, 20 minutes before, steam some broccoli if you like broccoli, steam some carrots if you like carrots, steam some whatever. I mean, if you want to be keto, right? And not necessarily just carnivore, but if you want to be keto, great. Have your meat, your beef, your pork, your chicken, your lamb, your ostrich, your pterodactyl that you just took out of the sky, whatever. Have that and your salt. If you want onions in there, that's fine. If you want flavors in there, that's fine. I'm not trying to mock you, but I'm saying, really, You don't need it. You just need meat, right? I mean, that's fine. So broccoli or your green beans or onions, whatever, potatoes. Like if you want potato, I mean, that's not really carb. It's not going to be keto. But if you have maybe one little slice of the potato, whatever, it might be keto. The idea is that it's the big picture, right? So you put that meat in there and you cook it. And then when you're done, or 20, before, you have some broccoli, you have some greens if you want, and that's keto. You do that. You can do that. Have that meal twice that day. You can have, you can change it up and have pork roast the next day, or lamb roast the next day, or fish salmon the other day, or chicken, or turkey, or you can have 7 different animals, right? Chicken, beef, pork, lamb. What else we got here? Salmon, turkey. That's 6 right there. Boom. On Sunday, whatever, eat bacala, codfish. Perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off and write to your congressman or your representative. Tell them that you have found the cure. Found the cure. So, folks, if you want to buy the services, if you want to spend the money and do the online shopping and to have the keto version of these direct to your house these days, it's wild because everything is online. It's crazy. It's good or bad, whatever it is. That's fine. Up to your own decisions. There's a keto version for it, and you don't need to do that. I'll tell you, I'm the worst person for pushing products. I'm the worst person. Like, this is why I don't have people knocking down my door saying, here, advertise for this, because I don't think you need anything. But sure, if you are going to have something that's keto, sure, try and make it keto if you're trying to do that. But really keep it simple. And the same idea as we always talk about snacks. The hardest thing for people when they're starting out is, what do I do between meals? Okay, so first of all, what's my meals? That's hard, right? But it's not hard. Have bacon and eggs. If you don't eat bacon, have something else in eggs. Have some kind of meat and eggs, or fish and eggs, and have some kind of fatty beef or fatty proteiny something. And eggs are great. If you don't like eggs, eat eggs anyway. Get to like them. Like, this is just honest advice, folks. Start eating them. If you can't eat eggs because some kind of health condition, I get it, right? Have some other kind of protein and fat. Animal source is the easiest. Animal food is the easiest food to digest. Ask your doctor. Ask your doctor. Ask your dietitian, ask your nutritionist, ask a scientist, ask your teacher, ask your biologist, ask anybody who you want to talk to. So it's easy to digest. It's easiest on the body, right? It's much easier than grains, much easier than any food with fiber. Okay, so maybe honey's easier, whatever. You're not going to live off honey. It's very good for you, very good for the system. So, it's like, I don't know how to say it anymore, but it's not hard. It's not hard. It's not complex. It doesn't have to be complex. But again, yes, it can be difficult. It can be difficult, and it is difficult. The other thing I said to her is she's like, well, people just, she was saying, people just don't want to give up their whatever, or they don't want to give up their whatever. And I get that too. It's people either like their cereal in the morning, or people like their pasta, or their, I don't even mean pasta, I mean all kinds of pasta, right? Of course. I mean pasta. It's funny because when I say pasta, I think bread, pasta, any kind of wheat, grain, whatever. But I want to point it out, right? Noodles, pastas, breads, pastries, cakes, of course, bagels, toast, bread, that's a bread, whatever, all that stuff, right? So I get it. It's hard to give that stuff up. It really is hard to give it up. And it's, I was saying to her, I'm like, well, she was saying it's hard to give those things up. And I'm like, I get it. Right. And I get it. And so how do I convey to people? How do I explain? And I think hopefully I'm doing a good job. All 4 listeners are not wrong. Right, Ma? Love you. But how do I convey that? Well, I understand. And I've been through it, and I guess it's probably why I'm so passionate about it. And it's probably why I drive my wife nuts about it, is because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to sit there, right, on a low-fat diet, whether you're eating animal product or not, animal foods or not. Like, you could, I remember eating chicken and rice, right, low fat, very, very, very low fat, eating chicken and rice and trying to lose weight and being 280 or 290 pounds and starving, losing my mind because all I thought about was, when's my next meal? like I just ate 67 seconds ago, and I can't believe that the next meal is going to be 4 hours from now, which was probably less than that because I ate like every 2 or 3 hours at one point. Trying to lose weight by putting more food in the engine. More food, more food, more food. How am I going to lose weight? How are you going to lose weight when you're jamming your mouth full of food? I don't even care what kind of food it is. Yes, you can eat just pure fat, just butter, and eat butter till you can't eat no more butter. Wow, that was fantastic English. Eat butter till you can't eat any more butter. That's probably right. And it probably won't take that much butter, but you'll be full of it pretty soon. But that's it. Even by doing that, you'll actually lose weight, believe it or not. But you can still overdo it. You can overdo it by adding a little bit of sugar, then your body can eat more fat. And because glucose is crazy, what it does is it tricks your body thinking that you're not full when you really are full. But you need protein as well, right? You're not going to feel satisfied without protein. You're certainly not going to feel satisfied without fat, especially if you just have protein. You need some fat to be satisfied. It's not enough. And the idea of being on that low fat diet, I know people all over the world that have been on the low fat diet, and I think people are in the middle of a crossroad right now. If I can just see the world, my crystal ball here, my microphone. I think people are still in the middle of the where I was and where I am still sometimes, is like, wait a second. So fat's not bad for us. Okay. But sugar's bad for us. And then they're thinking, well, I know sugar's bad for me. Oh, that candy. I know that shit's bad for me. Okay. No. Not only is that candy bad for you, that candy's bad for you. But the thing is, if you had a little piece of candy and the rest of your diet was clean, right? Even a ketogenic diet or something, then that little piece of candy is in reality what we call it now. It's just a little piece of candy. But if you have a diet, and I had that diet, and many people had and have that diet today. But if you have a diet that is predominantly carbohydrates, you're always having sugar. That little candy is not that little candy. That little candy is 2 or 3 or 4, or it's another bagel, or it's another something else, or it's another carbohydrate. It's the carbohydrate train. It's the carbohydrate dragon. That's what it is, right? You don't have a fat dragon. There's no bacon dragon. You're not going to get addicted. You may feel like you're addicted. You may praise to the bacon gods, but you're not going to be addicted to bacon. It just doesn't happen. I don't think it happens anyway. And I'm a scientist. I'm not a scientist, but it doesn't matter. It still doesn't happen. What was I talking about? Just kidding. It's not going to happen, folks. But with sugar, and if you eat all day and you keep on chasing that carbohydrate dragon, which it is, right? And that's why a lot of people are at crossroads. And that's why I know a lot of people I talk to, a lot of people that have seen results with this, even people that haven't seen results or noticed results with the ketogenic diet, they get it. And they say to me, shit, I get it, man. Brother, I get it. That demon, the sugar, it's in you. It's so much like alcohol that, I mean, I think alcoholics probably get it, or people that realize what alcohol does to them or to their bodies. And I get it, man. I mean, there are people, there's no judgment, but I think that a lot of people get it because alcohol really is processed like fructose, right? And which most of the sugars and the crappy sugars are for high fructose corn syrup, or fructose, or a mix of fructose and sucrose, or a mix of all of their sugars and whatever. And the idea again is that not just sugar, right? It's what comes with that sugar and what it does to your body and all that stuff. So I get it that it's tough. It doesn't have to be difficult, right? It doesn't have to be difficult at all. And then I guess not the last thing, but one of the things I want to talk about again is why again do I do it, right? There's many reasons why I do the ketogenic diet, or even now the carnivorous diet, which is basically in ketosis a lot of the part of the day, but not always. For me, I'll give you a typical kind of a day for me. And I get back to kind of why I do it, right? I think hopefully I wrapped up the whole how it's not difficult and not complex to start, right? Keep your carbohydrates low. You try that. Oh, one thing I want to talk about, again, last thing talking about my wife, about, she's, what if you were going to do about snacks? First of all, you're not going to have to snack every 2 hours, but if you are going to snack in the beginning, have literally pepperettes and cheese, meat and cheese, salami and cheese. It's the original snack, the original health snack. They didn't think about health back then. They didn't think about nutrition back then. They didn't think about how to lose weight way back then, because they didn't need to lose weight. There wasn't Twinkies everywhere and there wasn't Pop-Tarts everywhere. Okay, I'm good. think I've stopped on that. Why I do keto, right? Many reasons why I do keto. Again, but the first reason, or not the first reason, but is many people do it for fat loss. Many people do it. Sorry, I want to say about, before I get into the reasons, I'm back. I'm good. I'm on track here. But what I wanted to say, it was kind of my typical day. Because people ask me, what's your typical day like? Are you in ketosis all the time or not? Do I test? I don't test my ketones at all, because I know generally that I stay under a certain amount of carbs. For me, I've eliminated so many food groups, not food groups, but I've eliminated so many foods that have carbs in them, almost all the foods. So I don't really have any carbs at all. Unless I have something that I'm just not supposed to eat, right? And my own judgment, but something that's just not on my diet. If I'm gonna have candy, which I don't suggest, of course, and I don't recommend, and I don't feel great about eating it, but I'm human. But if I do, then obviously that's off my diet, but it's not part of it. So again, I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm not showing you how to be perfect. I'm just saying, I'm showing you how to be perfect. That's what ideally, right? That's what, when I read a book on how to do something, that's the perfect way to do something. That's what you want to know how to do it, right? Do as I say, not as I do. No, I'm doing it as well. I'm trying to do my best, just like you. Okay. I talked about my typical day. No, I'm going to talk about that. So even though I eat predominantly carnivore, right, which is just meat, and fat and meat, of course, and organs and eggs and all that stuff, but just animal products. Because of that, I'm maybe not in ketosis all the time, because after a big meal of meat and fat, or protein and fat rather, studies sometimes show that you may be kicked out of ketosis. I haven't tested, and I think I might test actually to see if I am out of ketosis. So if I am out of ketosis, then, right, then maybe just for a little while, and then I'll get back into ketosis. But the other thing is that because I wake up in the morning in ketosis, I don't eat anything in the morning, and I'm just working all day. And that's during the week. Now on the weekends, it's different, because on the weekends, the kids and me and the wife and everybody, we just eat and eat. And I basically eat all day. And it's funny, I don't gain weight on the weekends, right? But I'm eating more calories. I'm eating calories that I'm not supposed to, or not, I don't want to eat, or not on my plan, or not ideal for me, or not the optimal food for me. But actually, maybe I do gain a pound over the weekend or so. It doesn't really matter, because it's not a big thing. I'm going right back to it again. So typically, if I wake up and I don't eat at all throughout the day, and then I eat at supper time, when I'm in ketosis, right? Or sorry, when I'm not eating, when you're fasting, you're in ketosis. So if I go to bed at 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, 10, maybe 10:30, I'm sleeping, I get up at 7 o'clock in the morning or 6:30 in the morning. And then, so I'm in ketosis all night, right? And because I don't eat for, actually, maybe I'm not in ketosis. It depends. If I am eating meat, I'll have a little bit of snack maybe before bed, but even still, within another 2 hours, I'm not in ketosis. Or I am, sorry. Wake up in ketosis. If you're working all day, or if you're just up all day and you're not eating, fasting, you're in ketosis. So if I am going to get out of it later on in the day after my big meal, because I have just one big meal a day, that's not a concern for me, because my concern as well is, or my plan is not to be in ketosis all the time. My plan, if you're asking, Carlo, what's your plan? Why are you doing this? My plan is to see if I can thrive on just animal products, on predominantly animal products, with nothing else as far as vitamins and nutrients and supplements. I take thyroid medicine every day in the morning because I have no thyroid. I have to. I wonder if you can get away with just having a lot of iodine. I wonder. I'm not going to try that, of course, but it's not true. I haven't researched it at all, so it doesn't matter. So don't do it, of course. But who knows? I know you can get desiccated animal thyroid, and there's different ways, whatever. But that's basically it, right? Between the meat and the liver, I do eat liver and fish and eggs. That's basically all I'm eating. Okay. Next, I want to talk about why, many of the reasons, I guess, and it's kind of a tangent, but sort of connected, are the many reasons why I do the ketogenic diet. And the first reason was, for me, combined, was fat loss and cancer, right? So it has been shown to help cancer, and it just as a broad statement, I want to say that it has shown to help cancer in general. Cancer patients are helped and by many different ways from the ketogenic diet. Some cancers have shrunk from a ketogenic diet. Some patients just feel better, are able to keep their appetite, they're able to keep their strength and their muscle mass. So it's different for everything. I'm not going to try and paint a brush on it to say that it's a cure. I think it's curing me. I think it has cured. It's continued to cure me, and it's keeping me alive. Right? That's what I think. But cancer and fat loss was the first thing, because when I found out about the ketogenic diet, it was after cancer. It was after I found out about the paleo diet, and it made sense to me because I realized and I learned that cancer really loves sugar. And we're finding out a lot more different things about cancer all the time. And it is controversial. Some people say that maybe it doesn't just eat sugar, or maybe some cancers can adapt. I don't know. And I wonder what the big picture is, because if your cancer can adapt, what's going on in your body? What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you intaking, right? So what's our environment like? So are we adapting as well? I don't know what's going on. But that's why I started doing it. And with the ketogenic diet, it's once I started losing weight, once I started feeling better physically, I really started feeling a lot better mentally as well, and emotionally and psychologically. And it's not like I can't really pinpoint, and I can't really put my finger on anything that was, really, really out of whack or diagnosed. I wasn't, not that I'm diagnosed with anything, although maybe I could be, or it doesn't matter. It's just overall, my mental health got better, right? Yes, losing weight makes you feel better, but just generally not being inflamed, not being sore, not being your joints not being sore, your whatever, your neck, your just joints all over your body not being sore, your muscles not being sore, just you're having more energy, not being hungry. Like the idea, and if you start something today or tomorrow or the next day, and after a couple of days, or even after a week, maybe, or after a couple of weeks, or if it takes you about a month, but after a month, you feel like you have more energy and you're less hungry, you eat less, you have more energy, you're gonna start thinking, well, what's going on here? You're gonna start feeling better, right? Maybe. But if you also add with that the idea of just a better mood all over, right? And I don't know if it's the physical stuff that makes the emotional stuff better, or I don't know if it's maybe the emotional stuff that helps. It's all connected. It's all connected. So the mental health is part of it, and this diet, this way of life, this way of eating, I guess, WOE, everybody's saying that, way of eating. It really does help. It really helps with, for me at least, right? And people are claiming it all over the world. There's anecdotes that people are saying it's helping their mental health. It's giving them better mood. It's making them less anxious, less irritable. Interesting enough, some people are saying it's making them less irritable, less irritable, less anxious. For me, it's giving me a lot more energy. So that doesn't necessarily translate into calmness, but I don't know. I'm a pretty. It's funny. I didn't think that I was a pretty energetic person by nature, but I was, as far as always. Was always a talker, and I was always bullshit with everybody, chit chat. But now I feel like I have energy. I have energy all the time, all the time. Like, perfect example, today at work. I went there. They're like, "Hey, can you deliver a bunch of packages here?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll get there and I just go. I lift them up and, whatever. I use the dolly. Sometimes you use dolly. Sometimes you don't use dolly. Sometimes you need to. Sometimes you don't need to. Sometimes you should use it and you don't. And sometimes you do use it and you do, and you should, and it's okay. Sometimes not okay, but everything's okay." My point is, you get there, I energy, I get there, get back. I'm like, okay, I went to another place and I did another thing, another job, and you go. That's before, like, I want to go back to the point where I said originally I'm lazy. That's probably bad that I say that. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a little drink here. It's Gatorade Zero, I know. Anyway, no sugar. The reason why I say like a general, maybe a lazy person, because I was never that person to say, first of all, let's get up and go for a walk or go for a run. Forget it, never a run. But not only that, I was never that person to accept an invite to go for a walk or go for a run. Sure, maybe once in a while, depends on what it was. If you cute girl, you ask me to go for a walk, I'll walk around the earth with you. That's before you, my sweetheart. For you, still, I still walk around the earth 75 times. But the point is, I wasn't. And I tell me why. I don't know why. This diet doesn't. This way of eating doesn't cure couch potato-ness. Like I still like to I still like to sit on the couch. I still like to watch TV. I still like to eat all those shitty snacks that that are bad for us, right? But now we see, let's get up, let's go. I'm get up. You want to go? You want to go for a walk? Yep, let's go. You want to go? Whatever. You want to go do this? You do that. There's a couple of reasons for that, I'm sure, right? One of the reasons that doesn't hurt. One of the reasons is it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to get off. All right, we're back. A little technical difficulty, but we're back. And where we're at was that I was talking about the fact that it doesn't hurt to get up anymore. It doesn't hurt when someone says, hey, let's go for a walk or let's go play a sport or whatever, right? And it doesn't hurt because I've lost some weight, but there's less inflammation, right? So inflammation, what is that? Inflammation, in the simplest way, is basically swelling, right? Swelling in your knees, swelling in your ankles, swelling in your, wherever you got it, in your abdomen, in your gut. Inflammation is not just joint swelling, right? Inflammation can be in your gut, in your digestion. And if you're eating the wrong food or eating the food that doesn't agree with you, whether it's whether I'm going to label it wrong or not, but if it doesn't agree with you, or if it causes you bloatiness, and if it causes you maybe some gut inflammation, maybe some leaky gut is going on, if it's just not good with your system and it's causing inflammation, it can result in joint pain. It can result in other things. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I do it, right? And with the mental health, along with the idea that you're not feeling like, not only am I physically feeling like more energy to get up, there's the mental health component of that as well, right? The mental health component of that is just less guilt. And I'm not saying that everybody should feel guilt, or anybody should ever feel guilt about their body or their health. Nothing about that. But I'm saying I experienced guilt. I experienced guilt when I wanted to do something and I could do something and I know I would have fun to do something, whatever that activity was, with my friends or family, whatever, but I was too lazy. I just couldn't get off my ass. I just didn't have the motivation, didn't have the drive. It's whether you call it depression or I don't know what it was. Maybe it was depression. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was, right? So that's changed, and that continues to change. That continues to feel good. The other thing really, and not to really mince words, but body composition, right? If you want to look a certain way, that's the first way of the most obvious way of body composition. How do you look? How your body's composed? But the other thing about body composition, but I'll get to in a second. But the first thing, if you want to look a certain way, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look a certain way. There's nothing wrong with it, whether you're male or female or any type of gender you decide to be. If you want to look a certain way, go look a certain way, right? I mean, there's reasons, within reason, of course, there's some physical limitations without maybe taking some steroids or something. But the thing is that body composition. So what I mean by body composition is how you're physically put together, right? What's your waist like? What's your chest like? What's your hips size? How big are your arms? How big are your legs? Really, what's your body composition, right? Your weight, your weight distribution, your muscle distribution, your fat distribution. I mean, you can't affect your fat distribution. To my knowledge, you can't really. I mean, you're losing fat, you're losing weight. It's just wherever your body decides to lose it is where you're going to lose it. And you can't really target train an area to lose fat. You can target train an area to build muscle, of course, because it's quite obvious, right? But fat loss doesn't really work that way. You can, in turn, maybe work out certain muscle groups that burn the most amount of energy, tax the body the most, whatever. But body composition, having your body change sizes, everything from your chest size, your shoulder, your neck size, your head probably shrinks, your feet shrink. Yeah, your feet can shrink if you lose weight, for sure. My foot shoe size has changed a little bit. The other thing about body composition too is like, not just how you look, but how you perform, or how you just carry yourself, right? If you have somebody, or if you're somebody who has a physical job and you need to be strong, right? The keto diet, especially the carnivore diet, I mean, definitely helps. And people, it's funny, I hear sometimes, not to go on a tangent, but I hear oftentimes people will say, or I'll read articles and I just read criticisms of the ketogenic, and not only the ketogenic, but the carnivorous diet. They say, how do you build muscle? You got to be crazy. You got to be absolutely out of your mind if you think I may have a problem or a hard time either at least maintaining my muscle mass, but if not even building muscle mass, eating just meat. I don't mean just meat. Of course, there's organs in there and there's eggs and stuff like that, but you got to be out of your mind, mind if you think someone's not going to be able to be muscular when they eat meat. I'm not going to take my shirt off, but I'm not that I'm saying that I'm muscular, but I'm not frail, right? Sure, I wasn't frail before, and yes, it was not built on a carnivore diet. It was built on a high carbohydrate diet, but I also ate a lot of meat too, so it wasn't just carbohydrates. I ate a lot of everything. So body composition, how your body is going to perform, right? If you can build muscle, you can definitely build muscle. You can train. It's been proven now, and this is one of the great things about exercise and fitness with the ketogenic and even the carnivorous diet. It's been shown time and time again. There's not only anecdotal evidence, there's clinical trial evidence, there's studies done going on right now that are showing the ketogenic diet and a ketosis, if not the same, even and oftentimes outperforming a carbohydrate-rich diet. Hey, that means that not only do you not have to fuel every couple hours, because your body doesn't have a fuel tank, a fuel reserve. Your body doesn't have a very big fuel reserve for carbohydrates. I believe it's something like 100 to 200 grams of glucose. Your body has a shitload more capability to store fat. Right there alone, if you think about it, if you boil it down to the lowest level, if you render it down, I'm going to use that word. If you render it down to the lowest level, what does that mean? You know what it means. Okay, body composition, right? We talked about that. The last thing is just longevity. If I think, and if I've read, and I've been convinced, and doing my own experiment, I'm still alive. Sure, maybe I'll drop dead tomorrow, and I hope not. I hope I live forever. Not forever, maybe 120. I'm aiming for 120. That's what I'm going to get into. Longevity. If I'm doing it for anti-cancer, if I'm doing it to lose weight, to stay at a healthy weight, right? And I'm not sure what my optimal weight is. I think it's quite impossible to find out what your optimal weight is, maybe. I'm sure there's a scientific way, but whatever. Let me know. fatsoradio@gmail.com. Hey, this is a great time to remind everybody, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm just giving you my own personal, even if it's anecdotal advice, but it's just my own story, my own opinion, what I see it, the way I see it, because people see it in oftentimes similar ways. Maybe it's the way you see it too. Maybe the way I see it and the way I'm explaining it to it helps you to get to where you need to get to. If it's weight loss, if it's just dealing with any sort of issues, digestive issues, anything, autoimmune issues, this diet and diets similar to this and in parts of the carnivore diet and the keto diet, and just lowering your carbohydrates in general. If you can just spread the word to everybody you know to say, just eat a little bit less carbohydrates, that alone will help. But it doesn't end there. If you need to, and if you think it might help you, give it a shot. Give it a shot, give it a shot, give it a shot. Longevity, if it's anti-cancer, if it's lowering your weight loss and lowering your fat body mass and going to a healthy weight is part of longevity as well, right? Having stable mental health and having healthy mental health is part of longevity as well. I mean, you're not going to live forever if you are not in a good place mental health wise. Same as body composition. It's all connected, folks. It's all connected. So that's why I do it. I don't know. You may think I'm crazy. You may think it's just my opinion. It is just my opinion, but it is my story as well. This is what I'm doing. I'm 42 years old. I got a lot of white on this beard. It shows I'm 42, but I'm still kicking ass, right? My version of kicking ass. I can get out there. I can get out there and go all day. I can get out there and come back and eat. I sleep well. I feel good. I'm a pain in the ass, but I've always been a pain in the ass, right? Not on the couch all day. I'm not sitting on my ass just eating chips all day. And neither are you. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the show. Let me know what do you want me to talk about next. The guests you want, fatsoradio@gmail.com. Thank you so much. before we go today, I want to go back to something I did a little while ago. It was basically touching on all the different countries that have listened to Fatso Radio and continue to listen to Fatso Radio. And I'm so thankful. So first of all, thank you. I love you so much. Fatso Radio, I love it. I love everybody who's listened. Thank you. It means the world to me. Yeah, so let's go ahead. Number 1 ranked listenership is coming from Canada. Well, Canada, thank you. I can't dive down into Canada right now and see where exactly in Canada the most listeners are. Well, I know that they're mostly in Ontario, but I can't see exactly where. There was a toss-up months ago, maybe even last year, between Kitchener, KW area, Kitchener-Waterloo, and Sault Ste. Marie. I'm not sure. It's probably Sault Ste. Marie. It must be Lisa. If you're listening, it's probably you listening 100 times. Thank you so much. 1,000. Maybe you listen 10,000 times yourself. And do you have time? How much? Let me know, Lisa, how long it takes for you to like it and listen to it 10,000 times. And then I'll start sending you checks. British Columbia next, and then Quebec and Alberta and Manitoba and New Brunswick. So that's for Canada. I'm not going to go back too much into Canada, but let's go back to all the countries. Canada's number 1, United States is number 2. Thank you, my friends in the south of the border, US. Australia, awesome. Australia, why did I say it like that? Australia, UK, Germany, South Africa. Here we go. Here's the list. South Africa, Ireland, India, Russia, Netherlands, Vietnam, Norway, Philippines, Indonesia, Czech Republic, France, Republic of Lithuania, Sweden, Portugal, Kenya, South Korea, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Ukraine, Denmark, Croatia, Turkmenistan, Egypt, Thailand, Spain, New Zealand, Algeria, Finland, Guam, Colombia, Hong Kong, Israel, Mexico, Argentina, Belgium, Brazil, Taiwan, Romania, United Arab Emirates, Morocco, Chile, Greece, Japan, Saudi Arabia, China, Switzerland, Singapore, and Kazakhstan. Whew! My friends, I can't believe it. That's amazing. I love it. Thank you so much for all my listeners and all the viewers. Get me on Facebook, or of course, get me on Facebook. I don't use Twitter that much anymore. I don't know. I'll leave it at that. Check out the podcast. Share the podcast. Check me out on YouTube. Share. Don't forget to subscribe. You're probably watching YouTube right now, but subscribe, and then notifications as well. I don't know where it is, but make sure you put notifications. Make sure you put it to however often you want to be bothered by me. Make sure you set that right there. And if you're listening to the podcast and you're not watching, thank you for listening. Don't forget to rate me on whatever platform you're using, iTunes, whatever, Spotify, all that stuff. So that's all I got for you, folks. That's all I got for you. It's January 22nd. I worked all week. Whew, I feel good. I love each and every one of you, and it's my pleasure to do this every Friday. I love it. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Again, email me, Fatso Radio. Fatso, no question mark. Fatso Radio, all together, one word, lowercase, Fatso Radio @gmail.com. Thanks so much. I love you. I love everybody. Don't forget, check out the sponsor, Volpe Martial Arts. VolpeMartialArts.com. Sifu Adam, my brother. I love you. Lillian, I think Bob's going to say thanks for listening. And then we're going to run you out with the theme song. Thanks, everybody. I love you. Happy Friday. Next week, I don't know. We'll see. I got a new challenge I think I'm going to do February. It's been a couple months since I've done the challenge where I used to do the push-up thing and the squats and the crunches. Not that I'm getting a little soft. But we're going to try something again. And we're going to kick it up a notch. And I don't know. Let me know what you want me to do. I can't do a backflip, so don't say backflips. But I could do a bunch of other things. Thank you so much for listening. I love you all. Peace. Let's say bye to everybody. Bye. And we'll say thanks for listening. Say thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
So get your butt and get in your chair.
Don't eat your nails and don't pull your hair.
We'll talk about chicken or talk about steak.
We'll talk about fat, for goodness sake.
Fatso, the really great podcast show.
Fatso, our very first podcast show.